Hello everyone, welcome to Pinbloop.com. My name is Jeff. Over the past several weeks, we've been getting countless requests for training videos from our new users to help them get started with our Punchlist application. Therefore, in this video, we will cover the basic features and functions for our web, tablet, and phone applications. Whether you use this video for personal use or for your office training, the content should provide users with the basic knowledge and understanding needed to use the application's features. We hope that you will leave today excited about conducting or participating in your next punch list using Pinbloop. Let's begin with our tablet app training. Once you have signed up for a paid subscription, as described in our web application video, the first thing to do is to sign into the application on your tablet device. To do this, you will need to download the latest version of the application from either the Apple Store or Google Play. Remember, this application is only for the tablet and will not work on a phone. Once you have downloaded the application and have opened it, enter your email address and your password that you set up through the web application. Touch the Sign In button, and if you wish, touch the Remember Me box on the left. Once you have successfully logged in, you will be taken to the My Project screen. If you have any projects that you're participating in, or if you've created any projects yourself, you will see them here. If you are not participating in any projects, nor have created any, your project list will be empty. For the purpose of this video, we're going to select from one of the projects we've already created using the web application. Before we start, let's discuss how the application syncs data to and from our device. One of the most important things to be aware of when using the tablet application is to fully understand how and when the application is syncing with the cloud. You will most likely be working in offline mode most of the time, so it's important that users know how to ensure a successful sync of the data. So let's go over syncing for the next few moments. On some devices, such as iOS, programs are not allowed to run in the background. This is a requirement of the operating system manufacturers to help save energy and battery consumption. Therefore, if your device is set to sleep mode, or the screen is turned off, or the case is closed, the application will be overridden by the operating system and the app sync will be suspended. This can sometimes cause confusion for users who work in offline mode while in the field and assume that once their device is within the boundaries of their Wi-Fi connection at their office, it will automatically initiate the sync process. This is not the case. Therefore, once you reestablish connectivity to the cloud via cellular or Wi-Fi, your device should be left on and the application should be left open on the screen until your projects have completely synced. You can check the status indicators on the My Project screen of the application to verify when the sync is complete. We encourage users to consider that it's good practice to verify that the sync process is working and complete after conducting their work. Whether it's 10 pins or 100, sync verification is very important, and it only takes a few seconds to check that your data has synced. Another thing to consider before we move on is the potential loss of data due to a user logging out or being logged out before the data sync is complete. If a user's data is not 100% synced and they sign out of their profile on their device, any unsynchronized data will be permanently lost. This is very important for users to understand if they intend to share a device. So, be sure that all of your data on your device is synced before signing out of any user's profile, including your own. To help users understand if there is a potential for lost data, we've included two different notifications when a user tries to sign out. The first notification simply confirms whether or not you wish to sign out. The second notification lets the user know that there is unsynchronized data on the device and that if they sign out, they will permanently lose the unsynchronized data. If the second notification appears, the user should establish an internet connection and should first sync the project's data before signing out. Now that we've covered basic things to be aware of when syncing, let's go ahead and cover downloading and uploading our data. Let's first discuss downloading your data from the cloud. Once we've logged in and we're on the My Project screen, you will see a list of your projects on the left. Also, you will notice that there is a switcher button under the local data column which is associated with each project. The switcher must be turned on for each project that you wish to sync with the cloud. If the switcher is left off, the project will not be synced. When turned on, the switcher will turn blue and you will notice a small blue cloud will appear with a red recycle wheel. This is an indicator that you are downloading project data from the cloud. Once complete, the text "Just Now" will appear. This will indicate that the data was just synced with the cloud and that all data is current. If this text says anything other than "just now," for example, today or 2 days ago, there is a potential for your project not to contain the most current data, such as changes made by other users or additional pins added since the last sync. You can easily ensure the data downloaded from the cloud is current just by turning the switcher off, then back on again. This will push all of the current data that is in the cloud to your device. The text "Just Now" will appear when finished. Now let's discuss uploading your data to the cloud. If your project has data that needs to be uploaded to the cloud, such as pin data that you added while in offline mode, you will see a status bar appear within the sync column next to the project switcher. This will indicate the current percentage of your data that has been uploaded to the cloud. This will increase as the data continues to sync until it reaches 100%. This status bar will then read "Just Now" once complete. This will indicate that the data was just synced with the cloud and that all data is current. Now that we've covered the ways to sync our data, let's go ahead and jump into our project. When on the My Project screen, simply open the project by touching the main project or sub-project name. Once open, your drawing plan will be displayed and your pins list will be on the left. To switch between plans, just touch on the drop-down chevron at the top of your screen, where the current plan name is listed. For pin filtering options, touch on any of the drop-down chevrons on the filter header just above the plan. These filter options include status, role, responsible party, and space. Filtering by status allows the user to filter the pins based on their current status: open, ready to verify, complete, and alerts. Filtering by role allows the user to filter the pins based on their role/user with which they were created. So for example, we can view the pins created by the architect filtered by his name. Filtering by responsible party allows the user to filter the pins based on the party that has been assigned responsible. For example, we can view the pins that the electrical sub is responsible for. Filtering by space allows the user to filter the pins in a particular space. Users can set multiple filters at once. To reset all filters, touch on the Reset Filters button at the top right. Now let's go ahead and place a few pins onto our plans. To do this is simple. Just zoom in on the location you wish to place your pin. Then touch and hold your finger anywhere on the plan for a half a second, then release your finger. You will notice that a pin was just placed onto your plan. Now, touch the pin and drag it to any position on the plan. If you need to reposition your plan, just touch any portion of your plan and drag it to the right position. You can even zoom in and out if necessary. Once you are satisfied with the location of your pin, touch Apply. If you wish to cancel this action, just touch Cancel. Once you accept the pin location, the camera function will appear for you to take a photo of the item you are pinning. Take your photo by touching the white circle to the right of your screen. There are two options once taking a photo that will appear: Use Photo or Retake Photo. You can also rotate your device to switch between portrait and landscape. If you need to take multiple photos of an item, you can. Once you complete the next step, you will be able to add additional photos from the Pin's Details screen. Once your photo is taken and you select Use Photo, a separate pin description screen will appear. At the top right, verify that the library you wish to use is selected. You can change the library by touching on the drop-down chevron and selecting from the available list. We will touch on custom libraries later in a separate video, but for now, let's continue. There are a few different ways of adding or editing a pin description. The first is to select an item in each column which best describes the item you wish to pin. Select Category, then Subcategory, then Action, and finally a description. You will notice that the description that you selected will autofill in the gray text field at the bottom right of your screen. The second way to edit or add a description is to select one of the top 5 used pins from the list at the bottom left of the screen. These descriptions are constantly being updated depending on their use in the field. As an item continues to be used over and over, it moves further up this list. Again, if one of these is selected, you will notice that the description will autofill in the gray text field at the bottom right of the screen. The third way to edit or add a description, if your device has connectivity to either cellular data or Wi-Fi, is to touch on the voice-to-text button just below the gray text field at the bottom right of the screen. Once this option is selected, just begin talking and your words will begin to populate as text in the gray text field. Once complete, just touch the voice-to-text button again. The fourth and final way to edit or add a description is just to touch in the gray text field and begin typing your custom description. After completing any of these 4 ways to edit or add a description, just touch the Finish button at the bottom right of the screen, which will appear as yellow once a description is complete. Once Finish is selected, a separate Pins Details page will appear. If for any reason you need to update your description, you can do this by touching the description field on the Pins Details screen. This will open the Pins description screen for you. Let's select Finish and continue. Once the Pin Details screen is open, you can view the details of the pin. This includes pin status, change status options, space, responsible parties, value, description, a photo of the item, and full pin history. Pin history will update and be shown in the field provided once the pin information is finished and synced with the cloud. It is at this point you will also see an option such as Delete Pin. Let's start with pin status. At the top center of our pin details, the current pin status will be displayed. In this example, the status is open. This means that the item is not yet ready to be verified, nor is it complete. It is an open item. To update or change the pin status, touch on the Mark Ready button at the top left. This will update the status to Ready to Verify. Ready to Verify status indicates that the item is ready to be verified by the appropriate role participant who can review, approve, and mark the item as complete. Once the status is changed to Ready to Verify, our options for pin status are updated. You will also see the pin color change. On the top left, the new status options are Reopen and Mark Complete. It is important to know that there are specific permissions built into the application that will turn on or off depending on the project participant's key role. An example is, if an architect and contractor are participating in the same project, the contractor will only be able to mark items ready to verify or reopen an item. Other key role participants in the same project, such as owner, architect, engineer, or consultant, will be able to mark items complete. However, if any key role is participating in their own project, such as contractor, meaning no other key roles are participating, such as owner, architect, engineer, consultant, then that key role participant will have all permissions open to them. An example is if a contractor is conducting their own internal punch list and the only other participants are his subs, then the contractor has full permissions to manage his project without being restricted. To add a responsible party to an item, touch in the field provided and begin typing the name of the company responsible for addressing the item. If you find you are unable to activate the responsible party field, this is due to the fact that another key role is participating in your project, such as a contractor, which now has taken over that permission. An example is, if an architect and contractor are participating in the same project, the contractor will now be the participating role able to assign responsibility. If you have permission to assign responsibility and you see a small red triangle above responsible party, this is a simple reminder that this information may be necessary at some point for the user. However, not including a responsible party will not prevent you from completing the pin details and saving the item. Once you touch in the field, a list of names should auto-populate in a list for you to choose from, but only if they were previously added to the project as a subcontractor. If not, you can go to your project details screen and add them by touching the Add New Member button. To get to your project details screen, just touch the back arrow at the top left of the screen. Once on the My Project screen, touch the View text under the Actions column on the right. Once the project details screen is open, simply touch the Add New Member button to the right of your screen. When prompted, enter the new member's information and choose Subcontractor as their role in your project. You can also choose to invite them to your project to participate by checking the Invite box. If left unchecked, their contact information is stored in your project, and they will be able to receive reports if you choose to select them as a recipient. However, you can always choose to invite them later. Once you have the contact added to your project as a subcontractor role, you will be able to assign them to items on both the web and tablet applications. Here is an example of us adding a few different subs to a single item. To edit space, touch in the field provided and begin typing the name or number of the space where the item is located. A list of spaces should auto-populate in a list for you to choose from. This list will grow as you continue to add spaces while conducting your punch list. To edit value, touch in the field provided and begin typing the value or cost of the deficient item. If you see a small red triangle above value, this is a simple reminder that this information may be necessary at some point for the user. However, not including a value will not prevent you from completing the pin details and saving the item. Now that we are complete with our pin details, touch the Save button at the top of the screen. This action will take you back to your plan and your pin will appear, and the pin number will be added to the pin list on the left. You can then repeat these steps to continue adding additional pins to your project. Let's quickly go over the option Delete Pin. Let's reopen one of our pins by touching a pin number in the pins list to the left. To delete a pin, there are a few things to be aware of. The first is that you must be the original creator or author of the pin. Second is that no other participant has contributed to the pin, meaning another person has not yet added to the editable fields in the pin details. As long as those two things haven't yet happened, the pin can be deleted. This protects all of the participants from manipulation, which could have adverse effects and create tension between users if there is a dispute. To delete this pin, just touch Delete Pin on the bottom left of the screen. You'll be prompted to confirm you wish to delete the pin. Once you confirm, you'll be taken back to the plan. Finally, if you are finished reviewing or editing the pin details, just touch Save at the top right of the screen. And this concludes the basic features and function of the Pinbloop tablet application. Be sure to continue by watching our other web, tablet, and phone application videos. You can find them on our website at www.pinbloop.com. This is Jeff. Thanks for watching.